So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast, an Aston Villa podcast, and a podcast that's going to be about 2022/23's world's best goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. First and foremost, really great to have that accolade come to a player that all Villa fans can be super proud of. It's not often that something like that happens to our wonderful club. So big round of applause to Emi Martinez for getting those plaudits. And I suppose really, like, for him, he must be living a really cool life at the moment, because that save, not only did he win it for his accolades at the World Cup, but like that is going to go down as an iconic save that people will talk about for forever. It'll go down as one of the great World Cup saves, and fair play to him. Like, I think everybody would like to have that on their CV.
Absolutely, but not only was it one of the most iconic World Cup saves, it came in one of the most iconic World Cup games as well. It's probably the best final that I could ever remember. So for us to have him, and that's the most important thing tonight. He's our goalkeeper. I know there's a lot going on with him in the last few weeks, and there's a lot of negativity towards him in the press and with some of our fans with his antics, and that's absolutely fine. But it's an incredible achievement, and for our club to be having the world's greatest goalkeeper at the moment in our team is something special and something that should be celebrated.
Yeah, and look, he's our goalkeeper when he won it. I would go so far as to say he likely will never win it again. It's not often that unless he leaves Aston Villa and goes to an all-conquering team that wins, Champions League and does a treble in their native country or whatever it is. This could be the pinnacle, for him on an individual level, which is just fantastic to see. It's going to be there forever. Emi Martinez, Aston Villa Football Club beside it, and like, I know that I haven't even looked at the comments there, but I could imagine maybe that there's people in there saying about, yeah, look, this just probably expedites his exit from the club. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. At the end of the day, if you want to go down that avenue, which I suppose is a very valid way to think about it, but this is more so going to be on the positive side for Emi Martinez being an Aston Villa player, I suppose, at the moment, and what he's done since he's joined the club, which has been really good for both him and for the club as well. But if you want to go down this expedites his sale, well, maybe it just puts an extra zero on the end of his work, Paddy. Like, it's as simple as this. There's very few clubs out there that are going to pony up for a goalkeeper, but whoever goes for Emi Martinez is certainly going to have to pony up for him, and that's in our favour. There's 4 years, I think, is it left in his contract, and that's just the reality of it. He's 31 years of age, going on 30. 31 years of age. 30,
still only 30. Yeah. Look, he's our most sellable asset at the moment. So if we sell him, we sell him. It is what it is. But for now, we've just got to celebrate the fact and remind everybody that Emi Martinez is the world's greatest goalkeeper because of Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, exactly.
Not for any other reason. He was blackguarded for 10 years at Arsenal. He barely got a look in, and he moved on to us, and now they take the piss out of him. But that says more about Arsenal than anything else. But he's our player. He's an absolute hero for many all around the world now. Everybody knows who Aston Villa are because of Emi Martinez. That's how big this is. So all around the world, people are getting the news into their timelines and their news stations that Emi Martinez is the best goalkeeper in the world. And who does he play for? Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
He puts us on the map. And to be fair to us, we have put him on the map. He would not be there. He's not there without that move to Aston Villa. He would have never got his debut for Argentina, let alone be their number one, let alone win a World Cup. And
Copa America.
Copa America, and let's be honest, there was a lot of occasions in that World Cup where he saved them, let alone that save right at the end of the World Cup final at injury time. So
Penalty saves.
he has to be grateful for us to catapult him into that position, let's say.
Absolutely, and like that's sometimes opportunities. You need to take opportunities. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to brush over something that I said on a podcast before we signed him, asking whether we actually needed him and should we have kept Pepe Reina, and did we really need to spend 18 million on a goalkeeper? And look, there's no point in having a podcast and saying stuff on the podcast if you don't revisit it sometimes and go, yeah, look, that was fucking stupid to say now 2.5 years on. But at the time, when you had a player that had only 24 senior appearances for Arsenal or something like that, even less. I thought at the time it was a gamble, and boy, God, has it paid off. Because as I say, he's been a relatively, like, when he first came into the club, obviously he was chasing that 15 clean sheets record in the first year he was with the club, and we see what we lose when he's not in the team. Look, I'm going to go on a small bit of a one here now, because we often talk about, is there better players out there than Tyrone Mings? There absolutely is. There's better goalkeepers out there, or there have been better goalkeepers out there than Emi Martinez, but he's the best goalkeeper in the world in this year, and he's our player. And the reason I'm saying this is that we can be critical of him at times when he does maybe like that, the kicking the ball out over the line or whatever like that, or time wasting. But the second he's out of the team, is there anybody here who isn't shitting their pants over Robin Olsen? Like, it's as simple as that. And the second Tyrone Mings is out of the team, is there anybody here that isn't getting itchy over the fact that the whoever's second up is going to have to come in there? And that's the worth that these players have to our team. But not only do they have to our team, other players, other teams respect the Emi Martinez is a fantastic goalkeeper. And you said it there, Paddy, that we were during the World Cup. It wasn't just that save. It wasn't just that save at the very end. It was throughout the World Cup. I saw statistics as well that something like he only made, I can't remember what somebody said, was it like 9 saves or something like that in the World Cup? It doesn't matter if they're all saving absolutely brilliant shots or saving penalties or whatever. That's what matters. You might not have, like, the best goalkeepers in the world save the ones that mean the most, And that's the way it goes. If you were to give out the best goalkeeper in the world to the person who saves the most shots over the course of a year, that's completely pointless. So that's a bit of a rant, like, because I'm not going to sit here and say that, like, it's that. Even 2 weeks ago, people were questioning Emi Martinez for Aston Villa, and it's okay to do that, as I'm trying to say, because we know how good he is. We've seen how good he is, and we can celebrate nights like tonight because he is our player, and we know that he is damn good, and now he's getting the recognition for it on the world stage. So well done, Emi Martinez, and fantastic achievement for you.
100%. Not a whole pile I can argue with there. And look, you mentioned about the time wasting and the stuff and the shithousery and whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't help with the fact he's just won the World Cup. So he's in the limelight. Everybody's watching what he's doing. But I invite everybody to go back and have a look at the penalty being awarded to us at the weekend.
Yes.
And watch what Jordan Pickford does. Just as the ball's about to be, the penalty's been about to be taken, he fucks off around the back of the goal and picks up a bottle and starts drinking out of it. I guarantee you, if that's at the other end now, Emi Martinez is getting a yellow card for it. But because now that he's in the public eye and people are watching everything he's doing, so he needs to tone that down a little bit. Make absolutely no apology for saying that. You see, I have a shirt up there. I'm his biggest fan. I have his little picture here behind me.
Try.
Me and my son have 2 goalkeeper jerseys coming from Argentina goalkeeper jerseys. We're just huge fans of Emi Martinez. I'm not a huge fan of time wasting and that kind of stuff. I've said it before. I'm not going to be a hypocrite about it. I don't like it. I think we can do better and we should rise above it. But that's not for tonight. Tonight we're here to celebrate the fact that we've got the world's greatest goalkeeper. We've had him for the last 2.5 years. It's a culmination of everything he's done for us in the last 2.5 years has got him to where he is. And if he goes in the summer, so be it. If he stays, and we discussed this at length in one of the podcasts recently. Where does he go? Realistically, you're not getting Emi Martinez with 3 years left in his contract for less than 100 million. I just can't see it. He must be the most valuable asset, goalkeeper wise, in the world now. There's no question about it. So
I
you've got a goalkeeper with very little mileage in the tank when you think about the fact that he's only recently come into the first team football. He's 30 years of age. He's in his prime, absolutely 100% in his prime. Well, he should be. And it's incredible. So,
and
well done to him.
do you know what? Something just after popping into my mind. Do you remember during lockdown? But Emi Martinez. Do you remember during lockdown? And he went away and he had full-size goals erected in his back garden, and there was videos of like he had anyone that was there in the house. Was it his wife or whoever was like that was just pinging shots at him, and he was standing inside the goals. And I've got a vivid memory of that. Did I dream that? I know there's videos and that there's photos of it around the place. But what I'm trying to get at here is that, like, the amount of effort that man must have put in on the training field and working. And do you know what? The amount of effort that man must have put in up here to be able to stay the course and to believe that you're going to have that opportunity. And when that brass ring is there, you're going to grab hold of it. Because as you said, he was Damian Martinez when he came from Argentina to play with Arsenal, and he's Emi Martinez winning the world's best goalkeeper of the year here for Aston Villa. And that just kind of, the reason I say that is by design, because he's completely changed through as he's gone through. He's completely changed since he came to Aston Villa in even as a kind of an entity. He came in as a goalkeeper with a lot to prove. Now he's becoming a leader, and he's been given an armband. And yes, he's had as you say, that there's been times when people have criticized him and so on and so forth. But like as I say, he is in his prime. He is mentally in his prime as well. And I think that, as you said there, he is one of the most valuable goalkeepers in the world. You said 100 million. I don't know why I seem to agree with a lot of other people when they say the sweet spot for him would be in around the 70-80 million mark at the moment. It would be great if we could say that we've had two 100 million pound players at some stage. Like, there aren't too many clubs that could turn around and say that. Where's AVFC Stato when you need him? Has any club sold two players for 100 million?
Unlikely.
And I'm not saying, I'm not advocating that we sell him. Jesus fucking hold on to him.
His price tag is going to be determined by how much somebody needs him. And as we discussed, the only team in the world that possibly needs him at the moment is Bayern Munich. Every other world class team has a world class goalkeeper. Now, do they want an upgrade? Possibly. You can see some people where money is no object. Man City, Chelsea, Barcelona, paying stupid money. So realistically, I just can't see how somebody is going to pay that kind of money for him at 30 years of age. So if he, as I said, if he goes, he goes. If not, I'm more than happy to see him see out his career here.
Of course, in the chat room, someone has already come in there and reminded me that Benfica have sold two players for 100 million, in Enzo Fernandez and João Felix. And I'm just scanning. Yeah, so they have done it already. Well, screw that. We'll just have to find someone else and send three players for 100 million over. That's just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Don't be messing. But no, as I say, there's a couple of people talking about Dortmund. I don't think Dortmund have even a third of that to spend on a goalkeeper. And same, see, the thing with Bayern Munich as well is, what is it, something like 25 million or 28 million is their highest ever transfer fee paid. Now, they are going to have to come out from underneath the shadow of just hoovering up all the talent in the Bundesliga at some stage, although it seems to be doing them pretty well, because they're still a fair entity within European football at this moment in time. But I'm not. Do you know what? I want to actually kind of move on from the talk of him leaving, because I personally don't think he will leave this summer. I think he sticks around, and I think a lot of things that he said have as with everything else, things get bended, things get moved around, things get kind of taken out of context.
Mm.
And sometimes if somebody asked me a straight question and I gave them a straight answer, it doesn't mean that I have this dirty plan to do Aston Villa dirty and leave, and I'm just playing lip service to people. He thanked Aston Villa today in his speech, and he made a big deal about thanking them for what they've done for him to allow him to elevate him onto the international stage as well. You know, there's a lot of loyalty there, I would imagine. I don't buy into all the shite as well about Unai Emery. Maybe there or whatever, but Unai Emery is a professional. He's not like Steven Gerrard. He's not going to bomb people out into a bomb squad. I don't imagine he will do that anyway. So look, that a lot of that talk I think is overinflated, and it's always written in a way which means that people can't have any disagreement. And if the second you have a disagreement, it means that that you're out in the cold and you're never getting back into somebody's good books again. It's just nonsense. I think a lot of that stuff. So yeah, Emi Martinez, I actually think will still be here next year, and we won't even be talking about the £100 million sale at the or whatever, because we're going to win the league then next year, and it'll all be forgotten. He won't need to move at all. It's that simple. That simple. It is that simple as well. Where else are we from with regards to the comments? I see a couple of people saying there that it was Neil Cutler that wanted to bring him to Villa. I haven't heard that. I haven't seen anything on that. If that is true, then fair play to him. I know obviously he worked with him when he was here,
Yeah.
but
No,
I didn't know it was.
I think it was
on his
initially Neil
recommendation.
Cutler that went with the data and everything else associated with that transfer, and spoke to the hierarchy about bringing him in. I think he would have had to go through, is it Suso at the time? Was it Suso who was involved in the Suso
Yes.
before Lang, was it? Johan Lang?
It would have been Lang's first season here.
Was it? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
well, he apparently I listened to Neil Cutler talk about this a while ago, but I'm just trying to remember.
I haven't heard it. Like,
yeah, so he went to obviously the manager and then Johan Lang or whoever it was, or Christian Porslow, and said that would be consider bringing this guy in, and he was 100% the driving force behind signing him for Aston Villa. So he deserves a pat on the back. And if you remember, the very first video call he made after the World Cup final was to Neil Cutler.
Neil Cutler, yeah, and that's actually, it does ring a bell, because I wasn't sure. I think Neil Cutler actually mentioned that on the BBC or somewhere after the World Cup final, but I just wasn't sure. I had a vague memory of it, but I just wasn't sure of it. And I see all the guys mentioning it here as well. So fair play to Neil Cutler for that. Neil Cutler will be on the Villa View live tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, I have a burning question about Lovre Kalinic that I want to ask Neil Cutler, and it might be the only question about Lovre Kalinic that he might get. But he's taking questions live on the Villa View tomorrow as well. Paddy, I don't know if we much more to talk about. I was really excited, and you guys might have been able to tell that when I came onto the podcast here, because there was very little kind of flow to what I was saying for a lot of this anyway, because I was ebbing and flowing between don't talk about selling him because I don't want anyone to fucking talk about that, and I went from that to just Emi Martinez himself as the man, and what he's done for Aston Villa and what Aston Villa have done for him. But it's like, it's superb PR for the club. Like, everything has been superb PR for the club. Him bringing the trophy down and shagging it has been like, there's no such thing as bad PR. There's no such thing as bad PR when it comes to.
He didn't do that tonight, thankfully.
Not yet, anyway. Not yet, anyway. The night is young, Paddy. The night is young. But I don't. Like, as I say, I don't want him to go anywhere. I think every single Aston Villa fan will not want him to go anywhere. He is, yeah, absolutely not. No, like he is in the pantheon of definitely in the top 3 best goalkeepers we've had since we've been since the Premier League era has started. He just, I would think he has, is in there. Like, he's definitely beaten out the likes of Thomas Sorensen anyway for me. into that. And Thomas Aronson has some unbelievable statistics, if I remember rightly. He's got some unbelievable statistics. I remember myself and Stato spoke about it one time about how underrated his statistical performances for Aston Villa were. But it's as I say, Emi Martinez is someone that we should absolutely be proud of. I know he's proud to be an Aston Villa player. You just see it in him. You see the way that he speaks about the club as well. And look, there's going to be 1,000,001 pieces written between now and the transfer, and when the transfer window opens. 99.999% of them will be absolute horseshit. And the big thing here is do not fall into the trap of believing somebody else's opinion as fact with regards to Emi Martinez and transfers and so on like that.
I think this.
It's very unsettling.
I think the club have a huge window in order to impress Emi Martinez with who they bring in, and this is probably singly our most important transfer window since transfer windows became a thing. So it's a chance to either drive it on or sit on the fence that we're on. We're well established now, and we've got a world class manager who I don't imagine come the start of next season is going to take second best and be playing second best. So. Let's see what happens. But by far and away, the best goalkeeper I've ever seen play for Aston Villa. He's an absolute hero. I think tonight has just been, just confirmed that fact that, we're lucky to have him. He's an incredible human being, an incredible player, very humble despite all his antics, very humble guy. Spoke tonight about his mother and his mother working 8 hours a day as a cleaner. His father's a very hard worker. And his father's been very unwell. He had to go back to Argentina maybe this time last year, was it? I think his father had heart surgery or something. So, he's come, he's settled in, he's part of the furniture here and now. I know there are people upset with his antics. I completely get that. That's up to Unai Emery now to tame that down a little bit and make sure that that's not a thing, because I think he's got a yellow card in 4 of the last 5 games. So it's nuts, because the referees are just waiting on him to do something now to dish out a card.
He's not going to reach 10 yellow cards. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Let him get those yellow cards.
Well, if he does, he does. We're safe. It'll be grand. But it's the issue I have is that there's just it's just elevated into the stratosphere now, and everybody knows and everybody's watching. And I said, nobody bat an eyelid to what Jordan Pickford did at the weekend, because he's England's goalkeeper, because he's not Emi Martinez. Hang your hat on whatever answer that is. But this is, as I said, it's a huge 8 or 9 months in the career of Emi Martinez and in the history of Aston Villa. So we should be absolutely backing him up with the players around him in order to say, hang on a minute, there's something special here, and I deserve, or Aston Villa deserve me to stay here and help them through this transition into hopefully what will become a European superpower again.
I actually think just from rookie mistakes 06-07, he says he still wants to sign Kelleher from Liverpool too. I think that of the goalkeepers that will be on the move this summer, I think he's going to have an awful lot of columns written about him as well. Column inches written about him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him under Antonio Conte if he stays there at Spurs next year. There could be. He's definitely a goalkeeper that will be in high demand. Paddy, in 4 minutes or less, sum up the Everton game for me, because we never got to hear your opinion on it.
Well, I don't know what more I can say. It's the kind of performance that we're going to have to expect from an Unai Emery team. It's just patience on and off the pitch, breaking a team down slowly but surely. And we've been spoiled lately in all the goals coming early in the games. So a game like this was even more refreshing to see that we can just irk our way over the line. It was a tough game. It was raucous. The atmosphere was really, really good. The Everton fans were, very, very noisy. It was very intimidating. And look, we've got players there capable of coming and changing a game. So, there's some special mentions for some players that had some great games there at the weekend, which I'm sure everybody could see. congratulations to Ollie Watkins. It's great to see him finally becoming consistent. And, I'd love him to score in every game, because it means that he's learning from Unai Emery, and it seems to be that he's the kind of guy who plays on confidence. So Unai Emery obviously has him up there on the pedestal. He sold Danny Ings and said to him, right, you're my main man. Go get my goals, take every shot that's available to you and score me some goals. And he's been excellent, absolutely excellent. John McGinn was excellent. Really enjoyed his performance at the weekend. Two centre halves I thought were pretty good as well. I thought the changes come at the right time as well. I thought Luca Dean was out of puff, brought on new fresh legs there, and put that, and it gave us that little impetus to go forward. I thought the timing of Buendia coming on was excellent as well. Took his goal absolutely brilliantly. Did I even last 4 minutes?
Paddy, we're definitely going to cut that out. Did I even last 4 minutes, Paddy? That's an awful thing to be saying. Sorry. No, well, you've 2 minutes left.
Yeah, but I think this is the kind of performance that we're going to expect. We're not going to go away and boss games, but we're going to go away and win games. A prime example will be Brighton. A prime example will be Southampton. And now we've done the same thing this time around. So we just got to be patient. The fans, I thought, were absolutely excellent. Excellent Saturday. It was so refreshing to listen to them dictate the noise when we were in the ascendancy. But then, there was a couple of occasions, especially the first, I'd say 15 minutes of the second half. I thought Everton really came into the game. And then we put them back on their arse really with the goal. So we just got to be patient. We've got to get behind the team. The last 3 games, I thought the fans have been absolutely brilliant. So I hope that continues. I hope we can stay positive and buy into what Unai Emery is doing, because it's absolutely huge. We're absolutely huge. We're just a sleeping giant ready to leap forward, and that's coming. I hope it comes sooner rather than later, but we have to be patient and wait for it. But I'm really excited about what's coming. I'm excited about the future of the transfer window in the summer and what might come in. We saw some reports today that Guendouzi is definitely going to leave Marseille in the summer. From French newspapers, not from English newspapers. I hope it's us that he's coming to. So yeah, there's a lot to be hopeful for, and a lot to look forward to. I'm a lot more optimistic than I was a few weeks ago. I was a little bit downbeat with the whole thing, but it takes a bit of time for this to bed in, and I just, if we can all just get behind them when we're there at the matches, it's just to hear the noise on Saturday, even before we scored. I thought we were excellent.
Absolutely, I agree 1,000,000% with everything you said there. So I suppose just to finish up again once more, congratulations to Emi Martinez. FIFA's the world's best goalkeeper at this moment in time, and I hope he cherishes that award, comes back to Villa Park, and hope he doesn't disappear to Argentina for 6 days again. We need him for the weekend against Crystal Palace. But no, in all seriousness, congratulations to Emi Martinez. Absolutely done the club proud, and it's great to have Aston Villa on the stage there with such wonderful players in the likes of Mbappe, Messi, and just the world's best at the moment. And that's where we want to be. We want to have players that are there with the world's best, and we absolutely do with this goalkeeper as well. So we're going to leave it at that, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. Really appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you can. If you aren't subscribed to the podcast, just click on the subscribe button as well. It costs you nothing to do that. It really helps us out. We're on the march towards 5,000 subscriptions. The Villa View is starting now at the moment. I've just gotten a notification. Greg Evans and Dan Bardell, I'm sure they're going to be talking about this. So if you want another fix of Aston Villa Football Club, get on over to their YouTube page. Now, I will be back tomorrow with a transfer with a scouting series piece that I wanted to do on a player, and that will be out tomorrow at some stage. So until then, everybody, I really appreciate everything you do for the podcast. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.